Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. All my friends out there on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, everywhere else, LinkedIn, Periscope. Good morning. We have so much immigration news to talk about. Oh my God, it's incredible. It's hard to figure out exactly where to start. But I know I'm excited about this. This is fantastic. I got my my bunny coffee cup and I'm ready to go. All right. So it is morning in America. It is morning in America. We have a normal president. And I mean, there are so many changes that have already happened, and Biden has been president for less than 1 day. But I think the most important change that I see. Oh, hello from my friend from Algeria. The most important change that I see is just knowing that Trump is not going to be there. Do you know what I mean? You do not have anything to fear from Donald Trump. He has no power whatsoever to directly hurt anyone. You don't have to be scared of him. You don't have to be afraid of him. He is gone. He is done. He is out of office. There is a new president with a much different perspective, 180-degree perspective of change right now. Hussein Salama, good morning, my good friend. Salama Obama, a Moroccan Salama. I love that man. But yeah, I mean, Donald Trump's gone, and all the trash talking of immigrants, all the lies, the distortions, it's all gone. We have a normal president. We have someone who looks and sounds like a president, and it's amazing. But I want to review specifically what we have going on right now. First of all, on his first day in office, Biden made a number of changes to by executive order. Okay. On his very first day in office, he signed 6 executive orders. The first thing he did was he repealed the Muslim ban. Donald Trump had imposed an executive order that blocked people from 7 predominantly Muslim and African countries. Those countries are Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, Venezuela, North Korea, Myanmar, Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan, Nigeria, Sudan, and Tanzania. Those were the countries subject to the Muslim ban or the travel ban. And this prevented people in those countries with large Muslim populations from traveling to the U.S. for work or immigrating to the United States. And, you know, when Donald Trump proposed to ban all Muslims from the United States, I just thought that was absurdly ridiculous, that no one could do that. That was obviously unconstitutional. But the Republican Supreme Court, they said, no problem, you can ban Muslims, and they allowed him to do it. Biden got rid of that on day 1. So that's gone. The next thing that Biden did was he reinstated Daca by executive order. So the Daca program was started by President Obama in 2012, and it helped people. If we can go back and review, those eligible for Daca are people who had been in the United States for many years. They came here as children, and you get 2 benefits from Daca. You get protection from deportation, and you get a work permit, and you should be able to travel in some cases as well. So there are a number of qualifications for Daca, but that program is back in action. Donald Trump did everything he could to abolish Daca, and the Supreme Court ruled that his efforts to abolish the Daca program, he didn't do it in a lawful way. And now we have Daca. It's back in action by executive order. The third thing that Biden did on his very first day was that he reestablished deportation priorities. Under Obama, the priorities for who could be placed in deportation proceedings were people who were a threat to national security, people with serious criminal convictions, or people who had frequently illegally crossed the border. And Trump got rid of those priorities, and by executive order, Biden has brought those priorities back. The fourth thing that he did was he halted construction of Trump's ridiculous wall. The build a wall and make Mexico pay for it, that's over. By the way, Mexico never paid for that wall, and it never was built. So that's another thing that Trump did to get us back. I mean, that Obama did to get us back on track. The other executive orders on immigration that Biden issued on his first day in office were to rescind Trump's executive orders messing with the census. Trump, in an unconstitutional move, tried to exclude certain people from being counted in the census. Immigrants were not going to be counted in the census, and Biden scrapped that. He also signed an executive order to extend deferred enforced departure for Liberians until June 30th of 2022. Trump threatened the program, and the new order will allow about 4,000 Liberians to stay and work in the U.S. on a temporary basis. And by the way, today I am so proud to say that I won a case for an amazing family from Liberia, and I got the pleasure to call them and get on a video with them and congratulate them. And I have to say, I'm still smiling ear to ear from that. And the joy of helping bring a family together, especially one that suffered through a lot of hassles with the immigration process, is something that it's just the greatest thing in my career to be able to do that. So those are the executive orders that he put into place. And those are the executive orders that he did on day one. Before, not even 24 hours, not even 24 hours have gone into place. And those are the executive orders that we have. Now, on day one, on his first day in office, Joe Biden is going to is introducing a bill and giving a bill to Congress to reform our immigration laws. And I want to go through what's to be included in this. The text of the bill hasn't been released yet, but I want to give you the gist of it because it's kind of amazing. And then I'll be here to answer all your questions. And by the way, I'm going to be doing live updates constantly to give you guys all the information as soon as I have it. And I'm going to be releasing videos as quickly as I can make them so that you have great information about what's going on. Okay? So here's the gist of the program. First of all, this is what's going to be in Biden's immigration bill. Daca. So if you currently are on Daca, if you're a dreamer and you currently have Daca, you are going to be on a fast track to get your green card and citizenship. Details are coming. The text is not out yet. But if you have Daca, the police are coming. I'm shooting this video outside in my backyard, by the way. So there's a lot of background noise, birds and whatnot. So forgive me. But Daca, if you have Daca, you're going to be on a fast track to get your green card and your citizenship. If you have TPS, temporary protective status, okay, temporary protective status is something Donald Trump tried to end. I expect Biden will extend this, but under Biden's immigration bill, there will be a fast track for you to get your green card and your citizenship if you currently have TPS. Again, the details are coming. I'm going to be saying details are coming a lot today because, again, the text of the bill hasn't been released, so we don't know the specifics of it, but this is just what's been announced. If you're currently in immigration court proceedings, if you're facing removal or deportation from the United States, if you have hearings scheduled in immigration court, there could be big relief coming for you under this immigration bill. First of all, Biden has proposed a moratorium on all pending deportation cases of 100 days. We don't know the details on that yet, but that's been talked about. But secondly, there could be relief in immigration court that doesn't exist now that would allow your case to be terminated and closed, so you will no longer be at risk of deportation. So that's great news for folks in the immigration court system. If you have a family member that applied for you to get a green card in the future, and there's a long wait under Biden's bill, that waiting period would be reduced significantly, and you may be able to get a work permit while you're waiting for your green card. So that would be fantastic news for everyone out there. And finally, the fundamental flaw in our immigration system in the United States is that there are maybe about 11 million people in the United States, no one knows exactly how many, who are undocumented. These are people who are Americans in all but name. They're living in our community. Many of them have been here for many, many years. They pay taxes, probably more taxes than Donald Trump's ever paid. They pay taxes. They work hard. These are fundamental people who are fundamentally people who are fundamentally part of our society, and they're stuck with no immigration options. And I have all the time I meet with people, and I find myself saying, I can't help you, I can't help you. And I hate that. I hate that. Under Biden's bill, almost everyone in the United States who's without status may have a path to a green card within 8 years. So within a decade, if you're undocumented, you could have your U.S. citizenship. And one of the rules is that you have to have been in the United States on January 1st, 2021. So it doesn't apply to people who are now outside the United States. But it's kind of incredible to hear about all that. Everyone without status is going to be covered. Everyone in the United States without status is going to be covered. So that's the news that I have. I'm going to be answering all your questions. There's so many questions. I know I have questions. I know you have questions. So let's open it up. What's on your mind? What do you think, folks? Here we have Jorge, our friend on YouTube. He's a dreamer. Let's give a shout out to the dreamers out there. I love the dreamers. I'm with you guys and gals. I'm with you. And fast track for dreamers to green cards and citizenship. Let's do it. What other questions do you have? What other questions do you have? Rodrigo, our friend on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Anything regarding F1 students? Any kind of help to facilitate a path to citizenship for legal immigration? Is there help of bringing MAVNI back? MAVNI is a program that allowed certain immigrants to get status through military participation. I expect that the programs like that to not only come back, but to be expanded. F1 students, there's going to be a lot of things coming back in on that. So that's exciting. What other questions do we have? Let me fly through your questions here. Thank you so much. Here we go. Nods. Thank my friend on YouTube. Thank you so much. Still waiting for a receipt notice since November since November for your 751. Do you have any updates? Feeling worried? Mr. Smiley, I can tell you this. If you filed your I-751, that's for green card renewal for married folks. If you filed that in November of 2020 and you still don't have your receipt notice back, you are not alone. Many of my clients are in the same spot, and they're waiting. So I think the system is screwed up. Don't freak out. Achilles Heel on YouTube, our friend. Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Heel. Sir, what about Trump banned immigration to Myanmar? I think you mean immigrant visas issued by people in Myanmar. That is gone. By executive order, that's gone. We don't have that anymore. So you don't need to worry. I have won several cases for folks in Burma, and I love working with Burmese clients because the country conditions there are so challenging. So if there's anybody out there who needs help and they're Burmese or from the Burmese community, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help you. Sumanth, please answer any news on the H-1B program. There is no news specifically on the H-1B program that I know of. Biden's been in office for less than 24 hours, so you got to give him time. He's got a lot on his plate, but I'm sure that improving and expanding the H-1B program is going to be something that they're definitely going to do. That's going to be on their minds because the H-1B program is the backbone of the American economy. Technology, high tech, anything involving STEM, getting talented, brilliant people from foreign countries the ability to work in the United States through the H-1B visa is critical to our national success. And I hope that they remove the cap so that they can issue as many H-1B visas as possible. Michael, our friend on YouTube, thank you for your question. Thank you for tuning in. It is morning in America. I have my magic bunny cup. I'm drinking some tea, and I want to thank you for your question. It says here, I've lived in the United States for over 30 years. I have permanent resident card, and I'm trying to get my naturalization. Well, I would love to help you. There's no reason, if you've lived in the United States and you're a permanent resident and you meet the qualifications, that would be great. I'd love to help you with this. What other questions do we have? There's so much. Brendan says at the top of the chat, look at that beautiful family. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go back and find your question. I'm going to try to find it. Brendan says, I have a question to ask. Could you please answer today? Sure. Would you mind posting your question again so I can try to find it? I would love to answer your question. Let's see what other questions we have. Parisa, do you have any idea what's happening to the non-immigrant applications which stopped to pursue because of the travel ban? I was approved after my interview but not issued the visa stamp. You should contact me. That's the case I can help you with. I should be able to help you with. But I expect that eventually visas will begin to be processed. Moses from Sierra Leone. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook. The very first immigration case that I ever handled was for a Sierra Leonean, one of my close friends now. He's like a brother to me. So I have a special affection for Sierra Leone. Brown Dave Charles, hello from Haiti. Sac passe, my brother. Sac passe. Jorge Aguilar, what to expect from TPS or Daca? First of all, as I said earlier, TPS is going to be protected. Daca, Trump's executive order to try to end the Daca program is gone. And that's what we have now on TPS. I expect in Biden's immigration bill, he's given a fast track to green card and citizenship for those who are currently on DACA or who have TPS. So if you have DACA or TPS, you are going to be in a fast track to get a green card. Omar, my buddy from the Bay Area. I'm glad it's sunny there because it's usually not. And I'm so glad to hear from you. And I'm hoping for great things in 2021 for you and your family. And you know what I'm talking about. Mahmoud from Lebanon, thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. Moonlight, our friend on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Mr. or Miss Light, he said, I wish you could take action on K-1 visas. I wish you could take action on K-1 visas too. I have been working so hard to help people who are stuck with K-1 visas, and I'm going to have some very exciting news on that. And I'm timing it with Valentine's Day because I know you folks are engaged to get married, and it's such an exciting time for people who are engaged, and I want to help out. So please, I'll have some new videos on K-1 visas coming out soon, a lot of them. What other questions? Elias, good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending a little time with me. We don't need any more Jews in politics. We have a racist among us. Wow. Thank you. That's an attitude that was defeated at the polls. But there is a lot of racism in the United States, a lot of bigotry, and we have a troll amongst us. There's no need for that sort of language or talk. I want to help everyone. I don't care what country you're from. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care if you're Muslim, vegetarian, if you're what your sexual orientation is. I don't care what political party you support. I help everyone, and I think politics should be open to anyone who is a good leader, who's competent. And one of my core values is tolerance. So this person, this troll, is putting hateful comments on here, and you know, it's a time for love and positivity and tolerance. The attitude of bigotry and prejudice and nativism and xenophobia, that's over now. We don't need division. We need to come together and fight our challenges together. Our challenges are the lack of tolerance. That's my opinion. And if you're with me on that, then let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. If I had the technical ability to ban this person, I would do it, but I don't know how to do it. But yeah, there's no need for that. Brendan, here we go. The bill that has been sent to Congress, it says that people who are documentarily approved and waiting in visas and are outside the United States can come to the States and await their green card. The text of the bill, Brendan, that's a great question. The text of the bill has not been released yet. It's not been released yet. So the specific details at that level are not known. So we have to wait and see what the bill says. But for right now, I can tell you that we're waiting on it, and it should be the bill should be introduced today. Abu Bakr Muhammad, please answer my question. I would love to do it. Let me go back. Abu Bakr. I hope I said your name right. He's a friend of ours on YouTube. By the way, if you I would be grateful if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting a lot of effort into this to try to get information out to you folks. And if you subscribe, I would be really, really grateful. It says here, hey, my friend, my name is Abu Bakr. I'm in Africa, so I got a letter of recommendation. Which visa should I take? Well, I don't really know the answer to your question. I'm not quite sure what to say. I'm not quite sure what to say. I would love to give you specific details about what visa to take. I guess some questions on my mind. Has an employer filed a petition for you? Do you have a job offer? Are you engaged to get married? Are you married to a U.S. citizen or permanent resident? Have you won the DV lottery? Do you have like a visitor visa? You know, what's your situation? Those are the questions that I would want to explore to figure out what's going on. Hope that helps. It's hard because I didn't know exactly what you're getting at, but I hope that information helps. Marta, my K1 visa is waiting for 1 year. I am waiting for my fiance visa for a year. This application was March 20, 2019. We went through everything. It's been to a year. His medical expires. Help. Okay, this is what I want to tell you. Almost everyone in the world right now who's going through the K1 visa process has been delayed. And it's so unfair and it's so unreasonable. And what you need to know is that there's a way to challenge the delay. And what I do is I go to federal court and I sue the agencies to help people who are delayed. And so if you came to me, Marta, what I would do is I would recommend a lawsuit and I would challenge that delay and get your visa approved so that you can come to the United States to be with your fiance and you can get married and live the American dream and enjoy the visa that you deserve. That's what I would help you do. So I don't believe in waiting. I think waiting is a waste of time. And the people who hire me, who get approved, agree with you. Oh, we have Mar on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to have a little more tea, but I want to give you everyone a shout out and thank you for tuning in. I wonder if you know when the U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas are going to receive the new ambassador and personnel. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer at all. I know that those consulates right now are open and processing visas. So, but I don't know exactly when. I mean, Biden is going to replace all the political appointees, and that's going to take some time. I don't know how long that will take. Lincoln, our friend on LinkedIn. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear more from you. He's also, maybe it's the same person. He's on YouTube. There was an article on public charge coming on January 29th. Next Friday, there's an immigration theme addressing the public charge rule. I can guarantee you that there will be new rules on public charge that are going to be more generous to immigrants. And I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy about that. Any news on H-1B? I think I already answered your question. Hussein Salama, my lean and thin friend. I can't wait to see you again and see you and your family again. Two of my favorite Salama brothers out there. Jorge, our dreamer. Just going through, I'm going to scroll to the bottom and see if I have any questions that are good here. Aha, Carlos. This is a good one. Carlos says he entered the U.S. last year as a Venezuelan, un Venezuelano, but he has dual citizenship. Can he be eligible for DED? Okay. Trump did something great before he left. And I'm not talking about pardoning Lil Wayne. That I'm not talking about any of that. He came out with a program called DED, Deferred Enforced Departure. And this is something to benefit Venezuelans who are in the United States. And if you have dual citizenship and you're living in Ecuador, I believe you're eligible. Carlos, please reach out to me and let me know how I can help you. And I would love to help you. I would love to help you get DED. Not dead, but DED is protection from deportation and a work permit. It's very similar to TPS or even kind of Daca. Oh, here we have one of my friends, and I'm so glad that I've had a chance to know this family, this beautiful family, and connect with them through social media. And I love following their pictures and their journey. And I want to live in a world where this family has U.S. citizenship. And I look forward to helping you with that someday. That will be one of my happiest days. What other questions do we have? Here we go. Elias, great question on YouTube. Hello again, Josh. Am I allowed to travel outside the United States when I receive my travel documents and my work permit before my VAWA interview? Please let me know. Thank you. So let me answer your question this way. When someone asks me whether they can travel outside the United States, as an immigration lawyer, I answer that question as carefully as I possibly can. And I never give someone advice to travel, like, okay, you're fine, you can travel, unless I'm really, really sure that they can travel. And I go through and I look at everything very, very, very closely. And I want to review their file. I want to review their immigration history. I want to ask questions. I want to look for anything that could trip them, excuse me, that could trip them up. Because the last thing in the world that I'd want to do is to take someone that has a promising immigration case, have them leave the U.S. and get stuck abroad. So I can't answer your question about whether you can travel. I can tell you in general that if you get a travel document and a work permit and you have an application for VAWA, you may be able to travel. But in order to know for sure, you really have to review this closely with an immigration lawyer, someone who knows the details of your case and your immigration history. You know, like, it's not a general question that can be answered. It's one that you need specific guidance on. And then, even if you're legally permitted to travel, there are people with green cards and work visas who've traveled outside the United States and then have gotten stuck because of COVID restrictions. Biden, who knows what he'll do? Maybe he'll introduce new restrictions on travel for COVID, and that could change, and you could find yourself stuck outside the United States. We aren't the same person. He stole my name. I hope you're joking. There's more than one Lincoln. There's more than one Josh. There's more than one Josh Goldstein. My cousin is named Josh Goldstein, and he lives in Los Angeles, and we're friends and cousins. So, Sam, one of our friends on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. He says, if Biden's amnesty becomes law, my wife has an unpaid hospital bill. Is she disqualified for amnesty? That's a great question, and the answer is no one knows the answer to that question. It's so specific. The text of the bill hasn't been released. We don't even know if this bill will pass. If it does pass, it could pass. The final result of the bill could look much differently. Look much different than the bill that's proposed. So that's what I think about. Excuse me. That's what I think about that. Mohammed Syed, what about asylum? Boy, Trump's rules on asylum are going to be changing quite a bit. Those rules are going to be gone, and so I think that for people who are asylum applicants, there are going to be some changes. Big changes. It says here, hope you're well. When in doubt, when in do it wittout AB. Says, hey, I hope you're well. How long do you think the immigration bill will take to get passed? And what will it take for it to pass? I'm no expert on politics, but these are my thoughts. You need it. There's a filibuster, so to pass in the Senate, you would need a 2/3 majority, and there's no way that the votes will be for a 2/3 majority. So the only way that this bill passes is if they blow up and abolish the filibuster. And if they do that, and I think they very well may do that, then if they don't abolish the filibuster, then the Republicans will just block every law, and the Biden presidency will not be able to pass any laws except through reconciliation. If they abolish the filibuster, they can pass the immigration bill, but they will need a majority of the votes. They'll need 50 votes. And Kamala Harris is the deciding vote because she's the senator. I mean, she's the vice president now. I still like to say Vice President Harris, President Biden. It sounds incredible to say these things, but they would need every single Democrat to vote for this, assuming that all the Republicans vote against it. But maybe they could pick off a few Republicans. Maybe they could get Mitt Romney or Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins to vote for immigration reform. I don't know. I think the prospects for the bill passing and becoming law are probably unlikely. I don't like to say that because it's something I want so much, but I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen. Kashif, he has questions. Thank you so much for your question. There are so many great questions this morning. I am going to be coming on live as often as I can. I'm going to set a schedule. I'm going to be making videos and releasing videos. Here we have Dan. Great question. Love to hear from Dan Hines. Yesterday, Biden issued a proclamation for the resumption of visa and clearing the backlog of cases in waiver processing. Won't this resume K-1 visa processing at the consulates? There is, as you know, Dan, there is a backlog of cases, a significant backlog of cases. And I expect that Biden will be working hard to clear up that backlog And that's something that I expect to see soon, and not only with waiver cases, but with other cases. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you for tuning in. Stay safe, be well, and I will see you soon in my next video.